When Jordan Fish left the band, I predicted Bring Me the Horizon would suffer creatively without him, and I want to talk a little bit about why that scares me and why it should probably scare all of us for the future of the band. That take aged like milk. I was wrong, they were right, and by that I mean Posthuman 2 was worth the wait. Hey neighbor, welcome back to Beyond ARTV. My name is John. It's time for some unscripted thoughts, a review of Bring Me the Horizon, Posthuman 2, NeX GEn, the follow-up to the 2020 EP, Posthuman Survival Horror. Originally, they had a very lofty ambition of releasing 4 EPs within a 12-month period, but we all know that ended up not happening. In fact, we only got one more song during that period, and that track, Die For You, is for some reason on this album. I'm generally not a fan of artists leaving on years-old tracks to their new albums because it feels like either label interference saying you've got to tack it on because we want a bigger debut first week and we need those streaming numbers from the singles. It's either that or the band just really feels the need to have the pop-friendlier aspect be present for those that, I don't know, only like that side of the band. They've been recording NeX GEn off and on since 2021, and allegedly there were some tensions on the studio, especially with Jordan Fish departing. You would think that maybe there was some butting of heads over what direction between him and Ollie Sykes to take Bring Me the Horizon. The singles like Die For You, Strangers, and Lost were definitely very pop-friendly, definitely shaking hands with the genre under the table. Some people liked it, some people didn't, and while it definitely appealed to a broader audience, I was nervous because a lot of the production felt overblown with the tonal shifts just coming across a little bit try-hard, but I will say that most of the singles, with Salt and Strangers still being my least favorite, just due to them feeling somewhat empty and vapid and kind of on the verge of creative bankruptcy, I think other than those moments, the record seems to have card after card that it can play to keep the album sounding fresh. There's no one particular direction that they're forcing themselves into. It could be post-hardcore, emo, traces of an electronic-core breakdown, and then you've got something like R.I.p. sounding like it could have been in collaboration with Skrillex in 2011, and it tickles a fancy in my brain. And while it's 55 minutes long, I think all of the work paid off. And I have to say, Ollie Sykes was really not kidding when he said this album was going to be fucking insane. The LP's sequencing, outside of a little snafu at the end with the transition from Puss-E and to Die For You, which just feels kind of laughable. With those two songs, I know one being the OST and then a 3-year-old single, it just doesn't make sense. The interconnectivity of the songs, like tracks flowing into each other really nicely, YOUtopia into Kool-Aid, and even some of the singles like Lost into Strangers are definitely better than I would have given them credit for going into the album, making it flow like a glowing stream of lava. I think YOUtopia into Kool-Aid, Lost into Strangers. There's a lot of moments, including the one from that absolutely crazy interlude into Amen with Lil Uzi Vert in Glassjaw. What the fuck? That song is bonkers. I had heard it one time before the album. I will say I don't normally do this, but I didn't know if NeX GEn was actually going to be a thing. And if it was, I didn't really think that all of these singles would be on the album. So I heard every single single, which I never do. So maybe that's why I'm feeling like a lot of the album was spoiled for me. And a lot of the singles, they do kind of stand out. Some blend in a little bit better like incognito mode. But overall, this is an album that has way more strengths, way more fun than I ever would have expected. liMOusIne absolutely deserves a ton of credit for the crafting of the riffs on this record. They slam through like a tornado, leaving a path of destruction behind them. the drumming from Matt Nichols is some of the best stuff that I have ever heard him put to tape. The way that he's able to put these accent marks on the top of these tracks, just absolutely blasting away, even on poppier moments that you might not think, hey, that's where a drum breakdown with double bass pedals is going to go absolutely insano mode. But that's all over this. Top 5 tracks on the album: YOUtopia, first and foremost. That song is next level for NeX GEn. This song has an incredible guitar solo. Ollie Sykes sounds fantastic. I love the 2000s vibes on this, but it certainly has more than nostalgia going for it. I've also done a 180 on the track Kool-Aid. That song, I kind of dismissed it first. I thought it was a little bit too all over the place, but Kool-Aid kind of spilled all over me with repeat listens. Maybe that's not a good way to put that, but it kind of washed itself all over me. It cleansed my sense because now I see this song for what it is, just a multifaceted, hammering home and nailing really every element they're going for. I know it sounds like I'm glazing the band a little bit right now,
'Cause you got a taste now, drink the Kool-Aid by the jar.
2 more in my top 5. If I have to single certain ones out, this is getting tough. I think Amen, that collaboration worked really, really well. Top 10 statues that cried blood. I know this was one of the last songs that Jordan Fish, I think, completed or contributed to before departing the band. And his touches may be semi-apparent, but it's also a really striking balance between their heavier tendencies, a great ear for a hook, when to place a breakdown, when to add in some of those sound effects. It's a crazy tune, but what a fucking banger.
We're just a room full of strangers.
There's definitely not any songs I hate. Die For You being my least favorite. Strangers down there in the bottom. I don't really care for the p.u.s.s EOST right before Die For You either. And Dig It takes a little bit to get going, so the end of the album stalls out just ever so slightly. But with so many other things going for it, the fact that I had myself do a 180 on the way that I felt about some of the singles and the individual prowess of the band members, everybody showing up, showing off, pushing something in the heavy and metal genre forward.
Tell all your friends, this is the end of everything.
It's innovation that I just didn't see coming for some reason. I shouldn't have doubted Bring Me the Horizon, but their new album, Post-Human, NeX GEn, is a light 4.5 out of 5 from me. What did you guys think of the long-awaited Post-Human NeX GEn? Let me know your thoughts, your favorite tracks, maybe what you would rate it in the comments down below. Be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more unscripted reviews like this. If you want to see me talk more about Bring Me the Horizon, then click the cards on screen. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.